Hello, everybody. I was putting some chili to start, so I'm either just on time or a minute late. I hope everybody's doing good. Um, Welcome to Sow and Tare Live. This is a live chat we do every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to talk about something that we're not talking about, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we will talk about what you want to talk about. Any topics are great as long as they are family friendly. So please keep your comments family friendly, and we will get started. So at the beginning here, I'll read through some of the comments. People are usually here before I am, and then I have a topic in the middle, topic of discussion in the middle, and then we'll continue with comments. So thank you, welcome, and let's get started. You guys were here way before me. Dawn says, good evening from South Central Illinois. I'll be back in a few. Already hit the like button. Awesome. Oh my gosh, we have 5 people and 5 likes. Awesome. You guys are all on top of it. Awesome. Vay's Place is here. Welcome. Vay's Place is is Verna. She is my moderator, and she is awesome. She catches the bad guys when they try and sneak in. And she has her own live on Saturday mornings and Wednesday at noontime. Noontime? I don't know if it's noontime. It's lunchtime. And she is in Eastern time. So welcome. Thank you. And thank you. Evening, Katrina and Dawn. Good evening. Vay's Place says you were the 4th like, Dawn, as I was the 3rd. Oh boy, we're having competitions again, huh? Esso Swanson says evening, cuz, Dawn, Katrina, and everyone else that comes in after. Welcome to you. Steve, did you see my garden tour? Did you get a chance to see that yet? I know that last time you were in here, you had to leave, so I did it. Yay. Everybody's saying hi, and Steve needs rest, huh? No rest for the weary, and the wicked don't need it. All right. Oh, Ed says that he's here now and we can start. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ed. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you're new here, just go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know where you're from. We have all good people here. Everybody's saying hi. Funny IE shows 5 likes. This browser doesn't. Interesting. I don't know what IE is. Yep, 5 likes. All right. Well, we're up to 10. Awesome. 10 people and 10 likes. You guys are awesome. We haven't even gotten to any topics yet, and you like it. Vay's Place says I was 3rd. 6 says Ed Bay. Oh my gosh. PJ. Hey, PJ's family farm is here. Hey, all, she says. Hey, I hope you're doing great. I hope the weather's treating you well as well. I think you guys are in for another set of storms. I think. Did I see that? You're in New York, right? Yeah. Everybody saying hi. Oh, yeah. S.O. Swanson says, hey, it's PJ with all the goat milk. Yes, I want to know about your goat milk. And I know I did a question on your thing, but I haven't been online yet today besides work. Yeah, so what did you make? Butter, I think. I think PJ just made butter out of goat milk, which I find very interesting because I think doesn't it have less fat, or the fat is different somehow? I don't know. I don't know goats. They are cute and they like to chew on things. And they're either cooked well or cooked not well, and there is a difference. Hey, Aaron's here. Hello, everyone watching from South Louisiana. Welcome, Aaron. Everybody's saying hi, Aaron. PJ got her like in. Ed got bait saying hi, Aaron and Steve. Hey, Jesse's here. Hey, Jesse. Hope you're doing well. Good evening, everyone. Okay, people are saying hi to everybody else. Aaron's, Guidrose is here. Guidrose Urban Homestead. Hey, y'all. I just said y'all instead of all. You said all. I said y'all. Hi. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well. Um, hey guys, glad I made it, says Aaron. We're glad you made it too. All right, everybody saying hi. Andy Rabbit says hello. Hello. I have something. I think it was you that asked, Andy. It may have been someone else, but these are the farm sleeves. No, it was Aaron asked, and then you said something. Anyway, it's farming sleeves is what. Oh, and it has UPF 50 plus protection. So these are the sleeves that my dad got me for Christmas that you guys saw in that video with me transferring the bunnies. There you go. There's your answer from last week. Everybody saying hi. Base Place says you did a great job on the garden tour. Thank you. Thank you. Do you feel like you've seen it all now? It's a lot in a small space, and I got more plants to that. I got more plants. Yeah, and I have some sticks that are going to become trees. So yeah, it's all good stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't seen that yet, I did a winter garden tour, and you guys have been asking me for that for a very long time, a tour of the garden. For those that don't already know, I'm in town. I'm urban. I'm literally in town, 5 blocks away from downtown. 5, 6? I don't know, half a mile. And I have urban homestead. I have quail, chicken, meat rabbits. The chicken, there's only 3 chickens, and they're basically pets that poop breakfast. But I have all these animals, and then I also have over 40 fruit trees and garden space. And what urban looks like is different in different places. So my footprint, my lot is 7,000 square feet. So 7,000 square feet includes the house, my screen and porch, the garage in the back, and then my growing space. I have not actually calculated out my growing space, but yeah, there you go. It was kind of neat to go through. It took a while. It's a long video, but I kind of was looking at other people's videos for their garden tours, and those are all usually long videos. So anyway, that's out there and available for you guys to look at now. And if you have questions on anything that I pointed out or didn't point out because I missed some things, go ahead and ask. Thank you, Base Place. All right, everybody saying hi. S.O. Swanson says, missed the tour. I shouldn't be such a slacker. I'll get it right after. I know. I mean, I did it for you. I think you were the person that I promised to do it for. Yeah, check it out. It's gives you kind of a complete view of what my growing area looks like and what my outdoor space looks like. So yeah. Dawn says, hi everyone else. LOL. I can't keep up with y'all. We can say hi to everybody. Thumbs up from Andy Rabbit. Ed says, do the garden tour in late spring when everything has leaves on it so we can see it in all its glory. Yep. So I plan on doing like maybe a quarterly thing. So in the winter, in the spring, in the summer, and then in the fall. I think that would be good. I don't think that's too much. I know people do like every week in the summer growing season or something like that, but I think I'm going to be choosy with that and include that type of thing in my week in review, because I think you don't need to see the same thing over and over again. You see some of that in the week of the review, but tell me if you feel differently. Yeah, that's my plan. Let's see. S.O. Swanson says, i.e. Internet Explorer, though it's officially called Edge now. It's hardly ever used now, I think. However, there are certain sites that only open on that, and I don't know why. For a long time, not true anymore, but for a long time, California Department of Fish and Wildlife sites, you had to open it in Internet Explorer. That's been years now, but it was just weird. Like, why won't you open on these? So, yeah, interesting. Vay's Place says, we got snow for 2 days and another winter storm watch for Wednesday. Well, it's winter. Hopefully you're good and you can stay inside and send Lucy out when she needs to go potty. Lucy's a doggy. That's stay inside. Make some snow ice cream if you haven't already. Make some. Dawn says, sold out of eggs today thanks to Steve and Verna. Now I need to find out how to raise the prices later. That's awesome. That is so awesome. I have a hiatus in my selling. I was not behind. When I got my egg handler's permit, it went through in like a week. So I was thinking, oh, it'll go through in a week. So what happens is it's an annual thing on the 1st. So no matter when you get it, you get a new one on the 1st. And I did my renewal like later in the year. So it takes a long time. I know my check has been processed because they do checks. They don't do anything electronic, which is a little behind the times. But anyway, they have apparently thousands to go through. So I'm just waiting. And then when I have my egg handlers renewal, I will start selling again. So yeah, that's where I am. So congratulations, Dawn, on selling those. And I'm glad that you got help with that. That is awesome. I know like having them with you is a big component of that. And then yeah, I think that's good. So good job. PJ says we got snow between last night and today. A lot or a little? You guys have the potential to get a lot. Hopefully it's treating you well and all animals are good and you guys are good. Vay's Place says the fat in goat's milk doesn't separate like cow's milk. Yeah, that's what it is. I knew it was different somehow. And hydrogenated, is that what it is? Is it already hydrogenated? Did I make that up? Somebody tell me. Yeah, it's already mixed together. Yeah, interesting. Dawn says, I got snow too, and we have 5 to 10 inches predicted as of this afternoon for tomorrow night and Wednesday. Stay inside. Get any groceries you need now and stay inside. Yeah, be safe. Hey, my mom's here. Mary, hi from Oregon. Hello. Welcome. And you guys are doing good. I haven't talked to you for a couple days. Anyway, everybody saying hi. Ed says you can keep all that snow. PJ says my goat milk fat is naturally homogenized. Homogenized, that's the word I was looking for. What did I say? Hydrogenized? It's close. It starts with an H, has an I's on it. So very hard to separate out the cream. Thus, I have an electric cream separator. Awesome. I think I saw a picture of that. Did I see a picture of that? So are there different cream separators for cows versus goats? Like, does it have to, spin harder or do something different, or is it just the same thing? I'm just curious. Yeah. Yeah, that is great. Vay's Place says, yeah, the electric cream separator. I think I've never seen one in person, but I've seen people use it like online, and I think it's an amazing thing. That way you don't have to scoop off the top or use one of those like, who was it that was doing that? I think it was Living Traditions Homestead. She had a big bin thing with a spout on it, and so the cream went to the top, and she could just spout off the milk on the bottom. I think that's who it was. I may be mistaken. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, oh, nice sleeve. Thanks. Yeah. So that's farming sleeves. That's what it was. Yep. So Swanson says, Dawn, my prices are higher by default and I can discount for a new customer or just because it's harder to charge more later for the same thing. I mean, you can charge more like gradually if the feed goes up, or feed has gone up. So with that, or you can offer like a new customer discount first however many are cheaper for them to try out. Yeah. Don says, "This is Swanson's. Oops, you said you started low at $2 and raised up. I'm higher, but would like to go up 50 cents more later." I think you can work your way up. I think you can, especially with what prices of feed is doing, electricity as well. I don't know about where you are, but gas prices at least have gas like what you use in your home. Not vehicle gas. They've gone up quite a bit more. I think you go up 50 cents. And you guys just jumped. Let me find you. Hey, Diana's here. Diana Tuttle Tut Farms. Hello, everyone from Kansas. Awesome. Welcome. Vase Place saying hi. Yeah, Ed says the same thing. Dawn, if anyone says something, tell them feed costs more. And it does. It costs a lot more. Oh, they paid for feed for 2 months already. Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, and then maybe you reassess after 2 months. Maybe that's how you do it. Maybe you stay even for now and then make that profit later. Yeah. Aaron says, Verna, I'm snacking on freeze-dried strawberries. Aw. I bet those taste good. I've had those before, not ever home freeze-dried, but yeah, that sounds good. Vase Place says, great, Aaron. So you have your own freeze dryer now, or did you buy them? Oh, that's a good point. Ed says, Aaron, dip them in chocolate pudding. Interesting. If you bury them in chocolate pudding, do they like get pudding flavored? I don't know, like rehydrating. Let me turn off the sound on my phone. And we'll continue. Andy Rabbit says, hello, you, and you. Oh, yeah, and you too. Exactly. Do some about harvesting, Katrina, Vase Place says. Harvesting animals or harvesting plants? I mean, I will be doing both, but which are you referring to? Yeah. Oh, S.O. Swanson, was the tour in the weekly review? No, it was not. And Vase Place put a link down, a few ones down below you. No, it was winter garden tour 2023, I think is what I named it. Yeah, it's like it's a long video. Yeah. Vase Place says, that is what I have done, Katrina. I will not make snow ice cream. Oh, too many mallards and cats. Things you have to consider. Yes, things you have to consider. Yeah, if you make snow ice cream, only use the clean snow. Oh, Aaron says, I have my own freeze dryer now. I feel like such a grown-up. And it seems like so Harvest Right is the only company that I'm aware of that makes freeze dryers for home use. And they are coming out with like an extra large, which is like twice the size of the large. But I don't know that a homesteader on the homestead level would need that, but someone maybe in business might want to do something like that, unless you had like a plan for that. But they're the only one I know of that have a freeze dryer for home use. They have a layaway program. I have one. I'm paying for one slowly on a layaway program, slow on purpose, so I can make sure I put my money in the right places. But I think it's a great investment. If you are not planning on doing that, or if you feel you can't afford that, I think it's like $250 down payment, and then after that you can make payments of whatever amount for however long it takes you to pay it, and then once it's paid off, then you get it. And so if you can make that $250, then that's like the big jump. That's the thing to start doing. Otherwise, you can dehydrate a lot of foods, and you can dehydrate a lot of things. You can can a lot of things. I have a lot of canning videos on my YouTube. I have water bath canning and pressure canning. I don't have a whole lot of dehydrating videos. I don't know that I have any actually. uh, I went crazy dehydrating in 2020. I mean, I dehydrated before that, but I kept it running all the time in 2020 because I'm like, well, I have it. I might as well use it. And I might as well keep this busy. And I unfortunately did not follow through with that last year, or the year before, with continuing that. So that's something that is my plan, is to continue that with things for like tea. And I think that that will be good. In for like this year. But you can do a lot with a dehydrator. If if you're feeling like you need a freeze dryer because everybody else has one, you don't need one. It's going to be it will preserve more nutrition, and it will preserve the nutrition longer. It will probably rehydrate better and taste better, freeze dried, and reconstitute better. But you can still have, dry dehydrated food or canned food or whatever. Something that's good about it is it does reduce space. So like that would be something I would be looking forward to, like for soups and for especially the broth. So like broth takes up, it takes up a lot on the shelf. Whereas if you can get all the liquid out and just have the nutrition in there, and you can rehydrate it later, then I mean, you can powder it up, and something that's this big can be like this big. So I think it's worth it. But do what you can financially do. Don't go beyond that. I guess. Yeah, that's what all I have to say about that. Let's see. Yeah, so Verna put the link to the garden tour there. Aaron says, Ed, that doesn't sound like a good combination. What doesn't sound like a good combination? Oh, chocolate pudding and strawberries. I mean, strawberries and chocolate go together. I don't know. You can do whatever you want with it then. Okay. Vase Place says, I am sad, have not caught up on my birds yet. I have had to turn many away on sales. Oh, so you're not making the sales that you could? you gotta get those little ones growing faster. Give them some Miracle Grow or something. No, don't do that. PJ says a lot. We're talking about snow. I was out snow blowing all day. Wow. Well, take it easy. Always take breaks. Have some hot chocolate. You know the drill. Dawn says hubby had them in. Oops, you just jumped. Let's find you, Dawn. Where'd you go? Hubby had them in his car today. Was at a gas station using the bathroom. So we're talking about eggs. Using the bathroom. A car parked next to his, and when he came out, a Chinese lady jumped out and asked if he had eggs, saw the cooler in the car. Oh, that's awesome. I think it would be good to have like a picture of quail eggs on the side of your cooler. That would be probably a good extra thing you could do. So someone like that, saw that and be like, oh, that's what's inside. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I hope you have like a phone number to give them, that lady as well. Like a card or something. You can make, like, I have my business cards, and you can make your own business cards. You can, if you go to, Staples or Walmart or whatever, and get those business cards that break apart, they've improved them vastly. They actually look like business cards now. They don't have like the little perforation stick out things. And what you can do, like if it's Avery is the brand, then you can go to their website. They have it on there, but you can go to their website, type in the number of the form, it has a number on it, and it gives you a template, and you can have that template in Word, or it gives you different options. And so that you can use that and then print it out. And so I think that's also valuable to know. Yeah. Ed says, Aaron, trust me, it's great. Dawn says, I hope our snowblower starts this week. Haven't used it in 2 years. Wow. Well, If it doesn't, just stay inside and eat eggs. Ed says, Dawn, that's the market you want. Yeah, absolutely, that's the market you want. Yeah, especially if people start knowing that coolers mean eggs. Yeah. PJ says you can use the same cream separator for any cream. Awesome. So we're talking about goats and cows. The cream separator. Vase Place is telling Dawn now's the time to start balutes. Getting her going. Awesome. Andy Rabbit says over and I don't know about them. I don't know what you're talking about, but I hope you do. Okay, natural gas. There you go. Thanks, Ed. That's the word. Yeah. So Essa Swanson says if they recognize the cooler, they'll be asking for those balutes soon enough on their own. Yeah, you could have like, you know how it has like a peak on the top if you have like this kind of playmate kind of thing. You could have one side with like eggs and the other side could have balutes. Yeah. There you go. Although I don't think you're supposed to put balutes in a cooler. I mean, you could put it in a cooler that's not cool, but yeah. And Vase Place has watched my video of balut challenge. Yeah, she did a challenge to try the things that you're actually selling to eat them. I mean, I think that's good advice. And she tells about what it tastes like. And Andy Rabbit watched the video. Vase Place says, yes, Katrina, if you bury the strawberries in the chocolate pudding, they will start rehydrating with the chocolate pudding. That's awesome. Awesome. Oh, harvesting on your garden, Vase Place says. I can do that. Yeah. Right now I don't have much out to harvest. I do have the I keep calling them pomegranates. They're not pomegranates. I don't need pomegranates. Passion fruit. The passion fruit is falling. So to harvest that, you just pick it up. I have chard, parsley, beet greens, and there's not really a whole just leafy stuff right now. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that exciting, but I think maybe I could do that. I could do that. Let's do that. We will do that. Harvest animal. We can do that too. Dawn says, I got bait. Thank you. I think so too. I think they will keep me busy for the little amount of eggs I have. Yeah, you found their crack. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you got to be able to keep up. Yep. Yeah, Gudros, those extra large. So we're talking about the freeze dryers. Those extra large ones are so expensive. Yeah, I decided to go when I you do your initial thing, your layaway, and I decided to go with the large one because I know that when I have glut, I have a lot of glut. Like if I have the peaches and if I have all these different things, and so I just decided to do that. But the extra large one, I think it sounds too big for a household. Like, I mean, we're just two in this house, but like, unless you have tons of food and tons of stuff and you are actually like preparing for the future, or if you're able to sell things out of it like in mass, then it would make sense. But I think the extra large one is way like I said, I'm paying slowly. I'm paying reasonably and slowly. I'm not throwing down a bunch of money at a time. Yeah, they sound expensive because they are expensive. Vase Place has a medium, no need for extra large. Yeah. Freeze dry your favorite pickles. Yeah, great. Interesting. Yeah, and Ed says he's good with the medium. Aaron also has a medium. I think the medium is a pretty common one for people to have. Yeah, and powdered broth is great, Vase Place says. Yeah, it's like it's making your own bouillon is basically what it is. And if you don't use salt or if you use very little salt, that cuts a whole lot. Yeah, you can make it as flavorful or as weak and strong in flavor as you want. Yeah, So Andy Rabbit says, I dehydrate a lot. My dehydrator wasn't turned off for 3 years. Wow. It was too hot this summer for much to grow, so I didn't use it much. Yeah. I actually tried to dry some spearmint. I hung them in bundles. I made a video on it, and I didn't end up actually producing a video, because normally you can do that and you can hang it in the trees, and the trees provide enough shade that it just dries. You can hang a bundle of like spearmint. And this year it just went brown. It was too hot, too hot. So I know when you dehydrate herbs, it should be at 95 degrees is the hottest that you should go, because after that point you lose a lot of the nutrition. So 95 degrees is when it should be, and it was just way too hot. Yeah, this summer was ridiculous. Yeah. Dawn said, we keep jumping when Dawn still wants to talk. What's going on with that? Let's find you again. I have dehydrator and have dehydrated for years. I don't have a freeze dryer, but I don't have a huge bulk of things to warrant the cost. Exactly. Yep. And you can do a lot with dehydrator, and you just have to realize that you're not going to save that for 10 years. You know, you're going to use it within a year or two, and you'll be good. Yeah. Base Place says, I need more eggs to grow my covey. You're going to have white wings soon, right? Or white wings? I think he said white wing. White wings or jumbo or browns. I don't remember. Pharaohs. Hey, Fulster Farms is here. She says, hey, I made it. Welcome. Congratulations on making it. S.S. Swanson says, new freeze dryer on the market. Stay fresh freeze dryer. Similar looking and same price, out of California, LA area. Okay. So we're going back to Harvest Right was the only one. So apparently there's a new one, Stay Fresh freeze dryer. I haven't heard of that, and I'm in California. But interesting. I would say at this point for me, I already am on the layaway for Harvest Right one, but Harvest Right has kind of seen the technology, and they've improved things vastly over the years. So I think that's good. I have no idea how this other one started. So that would be something that would be interesting if they came out of the other one or worked with them or something. Yeah. Everybody's saying hi to Fulster Farms. Vase Place says Big Mama has not dropped yet. Well, maybe she will have lots of babies. And I am not sure. I think probably our mama rabbits are not pregnant, which makes me not happy because, spend that much time and I don't think they're pregnant. But we're going to let them go through Wednesday. If they're not pregnant by Wednesday, we'll get meatball and Parmesan for a date on Thursday, and then tortellini after that. And yeah, it's unfortunate. And I don't actually know how old Parmesan is. The ladies came with their paperwork of when they were born and stuff, but I didn't get one from the 4-H person I got it from. I didn't get one for him. I was assuming that he was the same age or similar in age as Tortellini, because they're the original two. But I didn't know, and I don't think I asked, and if I did ask, I don't remember the answer. But he is he's kind of a shy guy. he sometimes he's like gung-ho about it, and then most of the times he's like, I need to clean my feet in between. And yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but we'll see what the future holds. Yeah. Oh, and then Vase Place, did you end up processing any of the cuy? I think you said you were going to do that here soon. Dawn says, my cooler is a tapestry cooler made to look like a woman's purse. I use it for medicine. He never touched it. I don't know why he was using that one. I have inserts in the cartons. I have my info. The inserts are good. Yeah, that's pretty funny. He's carrying around a cooler purse, huh? Oh, yes. Vase Place says they will call Balutes fertile eggs. And in California, if you have the egg handlers permit, then you actually have to call them fertile eggs. You actually have to have that on the carton, fertile eggs. I think it's just because people don't know what a balut is. I mean, the people who you're selling it to should, but yeah, that is something that does have specific labeling in California. Fulster Farm says, I like the idea of quail on the side of the cooler. Yep. I think it's a great idea. So I was thinking about this and I have not looked into it yet. So I know so I'm in Gilroy, California. We're known for garlic, and there's fabric that has garlic on it, like just garlic cloves or garlic heads. And I was thinking there has to be a quail egg fabric out there that you could make into things, and it's just something I was thinking about. I haven't looked into it yet. There's a quilting store in downtown, the Nimble Thimble, I think is the name. It's a pretty good name. That I was going to look into and see if they had anything, or see if they could order something like that. So, yeah. So I think quilting stores will have the more patterned pieces. I'm not sure you're going to find something like that at Joann's, but you might. Yeah. Don says, I had him take the cooler so he could work and the eggs won't freeze in the car. Yeah, so opposite direction of cooler, huh? You're not keeping them cold, you're keeping them from freezing. Eso Swanson says magnetic sign on the side of the car or truck with colorful picture of the basket of eggs. Yeah, that would also work too. That would also work. The only thing about that is that whenever you have a magnetic sign, you have to be careful where I don't know, maybe you don't have to everywhere, but here, people mess with them. So I guess know where you are and go with that. Go with that. Dawn says, Base Place, thank you. I had no idea they would call balutes fertile eggs. Yeah, so it's different state by state of what you have to label things as, but that, at least in California, that's what you have to label them as. Actually, I have it here. This is the booklet that they give you. Well, you have to buy it. It's the $15 booklet of copied papers with lines and things going through them for $15. But that's the thing that you have to follow for California. I'm sure there's similar things for other states, and it's written for chickens, so you get to talk with people about how that works for quail eggs. And luckily, the guy I needed to talk with for the state about quail eggs, he was wonderful and always returned emails and stuff like that, so that was good. Yeah. Base Place says with a couple quail as well. Oh, on the magnetic sign. Yeah, that actually would be good. Fulster Farm says large freeze dryer was a great decision. We have a medium, and I wish I had gone bigger. Yeah, so I don't have it yet, obviously, but that's what I plan on getting. I don't think the extra large is something that I would need, but now they have an extra large, it's like double the size. So yeah, they're jumping it up. Guido says, I dehydrate a lot too. I think each thing has its place depending on what you're preserving. Exactly. Yep. And what you're going to be using it for, and how long it's going to be used for, and whether or not one thing's full when you're doing the other thing. Yeah. Vase Place says, on broth, it is good to cook it down by half before freeze drying so that it is strong like bouillons. That makes sense. And it probably takes less time to pull out the moisture. Yeah, that makes sense. Egg Got Bait says, just remember with the pickles, it's going to intensify the salt, so you may want to rinse the pickles and maybe soak in clean water. Yes, and I think we talked about that earlier, Ed. Did you ever do cucumbers with pickle seasoning? I know we had talked about that. I'm wondering if you did, because I don't think I've heard anything about that. Andy Rabbit says, Fulster, I agree. When I bought my Excalibur dehydrator, I decided to go with 9-tray one. Now I have 2 because one isn't big enough. Yeah. Vase Face likes the extra salt. Jumbo whites. Yeah, I know you have jumbo whites, but weren't you thinking about getting another kind, another color? Yeah. Vase Place says I put shredded zucchini, limes, and apples in the freeze dryer last night without freezing them first. They were done this morning. Wow. Okay. Wow. And limes have quite a bit of moisture, so that's interesting. Andy Rabbit says the good part about rabbits is it's just a 30-day setback when it fails. That is true. That is true. So, yeah, that's true. The thing that around here though, like it gets so hot in the summer that I don't want. I mean, they're probably going to go sterile in the summer, and I don't really want to be taking care of babies into the summer. Babies, they're older than that, but just because it gets so hot and intense, and I don't think it's a good choice to do that. Yeah. So Vase Place says, Katrina, maybe you should keep a buck as well as doe back. I don't think I'm going to do that because they would be brother and sister, and that's not something that you're supposed to do. I mean, yeah, you're going to get babies and they'll be edible, but I think if I did that, I would rehome Parmesan as a pet. He's super lovable. And then get a buck from someone else. I think that's what the process would be. But yeah, he's super lovable, guys. He's such a sweetheart, and he's so funny because whenever I come up or whenever I walk by, he runs around. He's so excited. He does these little happy leaps. He's like, pet me, pet me. He loves little scratchies. Yeah, he's a good pet. So hopefully he's not done yet, but we'll see. Yeah. Oh, so Vase Place says haven't processed yet, almost ready. Okay. Fulser Farm says we always put our female in the male cage in the morning, then again at night. Always breed twice in one day, 8 hours apart, and we always have good conception rate on rabbits. Just a thought. Yeah, so I've been told by some experienced people to do 12 hours apart, and obviously, like, I'm working and things happen, and you're not going to get exactly that, but we do the first one and try and get three fall offs. This last time he never did. Just needed to put the girls back in, and then when we checked them, they appeared to be already bred because they weren't letting him do his thing. So yeah, maybe I should have checked them again the next day. I don't know. But yeah, so you put him back in, and then they reject him. Yeah. But we'll see this next time. I just know that this last time he didn't seem as interested, and they didn't seem as interested. So I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was just a weird vibe day. I don't know. Vase Place says too long of a wait for jumbo wilds or jumbo white wings, so I'm going to get pansy fees instead. Awesome. Well, I mean, not awesome, but awesome that you're getting a different kind. Cool. That's good. Fulser Farm says hit the like button, y'all. Thank you. We have 14 people watching and 15 likes, so somebody left. It's okay. So Vase Place says little mama's pups are learning to greet me as their mother does. Yeah, it's kind of funny what they do. Yeah, I have some of the rabbits, they do come up and they do this thing where I put my hand in and they bump it, and some of them are still not quite sure if they really want to be pet. And some of them are like, yes, please pet me. So it's pretty funny that way. But they learn from mama. Andy Rabbit says not all bucks go sterile, and that is handy at the end of the season. You can breed faster for fall. Yeah, I tried to breed a little bit earlier this year, and that failed because he went sterile. It was just too hot. So yeah, so I will be thinking about that. We'll see how this next time goes. He does like to smell his babies after I've pet the ladies and the babies. Sometimes if I only use one hand, like if I'll pet one with one hand and then the other hand, or pet one, and then this hand doesn't have any bunny smell on it, and I'll put in both hands, and he'll always go to the hand that has the bunny smell, and he'll be like, what's going on over there? So that's pretty funny. Ed says, I freeze-dried cooked shrimp, cooked chicken, raw fish, pickles, corn, carrots, tomatoes, lemons, spinach, kale, snow peas, jello, and lots of different candy and fruits. All right. You still haven't tried your cucumber with your pickling salt or pickling seasoning. All right. Put it on the list. Andy Rabbit says, Verna, pansy fees are a very nice looking quail. Yeah, I was looking at that today because right now so I have my jumbo, my jumbo's in the aviary with the rabbits, and then I have my standards, which is kind of a standard jumbo mix at this point. And I really think that I want to change that to an all feather sexable one. They're kind of like, oh, there's feather sexables and non-feather sexables. Let's put them together and get who knows what. So I think I'd like to do that. I was looking at the MyShire site earlier today, actually, and I was kind of looking at Egyptian fees. Has anybody had Egyptian fees? I know I think they're somewhat new. I don't remember. Yeah, if anybody has experience with those guys, I'd like to know how you like them and all of that. Because Egyptian fees, basically, my thinking is that I'd like to get one that is lighter in color, so that when I process and I save the feathers, I can dye the feathers for crafts. So, like, I like the jumbo. I like the wilds. I like the jumbo wilds, jumbo pharaoh, whatever you want to call them. And so I have that, and I like them, and I like how they look, and they have the darker feathers. But I think that there's another market that would be available for the lighter ones, but I also want feather sexable. So yeah, that's where I'm thinking about going. So if anybody has any input, let me know. Let's see. Baseplay says, I know, Andy, I have had them before. They are beautiful, even though not jumbo, but they are close to jumbo weight. Yeah, that's the other thing I was looking at on the MyShire website, is that a lot of them are like 9 point something ounces at 10 weeks. And for those that don't know, a jumbo Coturnix quail is 10 pounds, not 10 pounds. Oh my goodness, not 10 pounds, 10 ounces in 10 weeks. So that's what people call a jumbo. Yeah. So 9 point something is not that far off of jumbo, but the jumbos that he has are bigger than 10, So yeah. Ooh, I smell stuff. I'm making chili in my new wave, and there'll be a video on that. This is stuff mostly that I cleaned out of my freezer, and that's going to be a freezer inventory. I don't know, maybe next week we'll post it. Yeah, the pie that I made for Sunday's video wasn't going to be Sunday's video. It was going to be something else. But then I went to the Scion Exchange, which is my topic of the day, which we'll talk about after we get through this Egyptian thing here. And so I was like, I already have this made. I don't feel like doing a video. I'm just going to do this one. So if you watch that and you're like, I think I missed the freezer inventory, you didn't miss it. I just did it out of order. All right, back to the comments here. Yeah. So Andy Rabbit says, Verna, the few I have are pretty large. You're talking about pansy. Yeah. Yeah, they can be close. Pansy fee average is 9 to 9.5 ounces. That's Steve's responding. And Folster says, we do. I don't know what you do, but hopefully you do good things. I've lost track of what you do. Dawn says, I have Egyptians, but I have not heard of Egyptian fees. Yeah, they're a new color. Base Place has Egyptian fees are one of the newer colors. Yeah, so that's they look pretty neat. And they have lighter feathers, and it's just something that I'm thinking about it. Fulster Farm says, we have Egyptian fees. I like them because they are silver and calmish. Cool. Very good. Oh, we do. We do have Egyptian fees. Got it. Thank you. Mandy, right? Thank you, Mandy. Vase Place says, jumbo whites, you can dye their feathers whatever color you want. You can, but they're not feather sexable, and I'm really looking for something feather sexable. So I'm thinking about getting Egyptian fees from Zach. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, Steve, I haven't weighed my quail yet. It's okay. Aaron says, we have a few Egyptian fees. Do you like them? Yeah, and this is, dang, that's a big bird, 10 pounds. No promises. No promises. 10 ounces. It's a turkey quail. I think they call it a turducken. What is a quail? I don't know. I'm not going to make it up. Vase Place says has to be at least 10 ounce at 10 weeks, but Zach's jumbos are over 11 ounce at 10 weeks. Yep. That's what Swanson says. I keep forgetting to say fee. Egyptian fee average 9.2 to 9.6 ounce. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, Katrina, I would not want a 10-pound quail. How do you know? You only have to raise one. Yeah. Aaron says Egyptians are my favorite color. I like how they look. I used to have Egyptians and jumbo Egyptian and jumbo wild together, and I just decided to keep the bigger ones. I think there's I know I have the Rugine in there still, because I think there's one in there that's showing that, but I just went with size for that one. So yeah. Esther Swanson says, I would like a 10-pound quail. Dawn says, I just have jumbos, which are Egyptians and pharaohs. Yeah, that's what I started with. It's pharaohs, and then I added Egyptians. Actually, I hatched them out at the same time, I think. It would just be a chicken. Might be a turkey then. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the increased poop for 10 pounds? Oh, Steve, why did you have to say that? Hey, Little Ridge Farm is here. Howdy. Welcome. I accidentally said 10-pound quail instead of 10-ounce quail. That's what you're walking in on. And people are saying hi back. Ed says, Steve, about as much as a cow. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't mean to say it. Okay, poo that size would have to use a shovel in the cage, Don says. Yeah, I think so. Fulster Farm says that would be a quirky. Oh my gosh, Ed's laughing at you too. A quirky. Okay. Andy has one chicken and the poop is crazy. The small size of quail is a plus. I learned I will never have chickens again. They take up too much room for me. Yeah, my chickens, I have them on deep litter, so I think that's definitely beneficial because they just churn in their own poop, and all I have to do is sift out the compost when it comes out and then put more wood chips in. So they deal with their own poop, plus they deal with the rabbit poop. So I think that having them is a good thing for that system. Yeah, it's good. So I went to a Scion exchange, and if you saw my video today, then you'll see I held up a bag of sticks. It's in the refrigerator. And so if you guys are if anybody's watching this that is in California, there are Scion exchanges happening throughout the state. And I'm sure that there are exchanges elsewhere. You just have to look them up. I don't know who would be hosting that, but California Rare Fruit Growers is what you would look up. And that would be a really good thing for you guys to look up if you have fruit trees or if you want to have fruit trees or be involved in that. And basically what is a Scion? It's going to be a video, but a Scion is a stick. It is a stick that someone chopped off a tree, usually when they're pruning. And it's a stick that is chopped off when dormant. We're talking about fruit trees that lose their leaves in the winter. We're not talking about things like citrus or avocado. That's something separate. They're still called scions, but there's something separate. So right now is the time to take those cuttings, save them in your refrigerator, little spritz of water, not soaking, but little spritz of water in a Ziploc bag, seal it up, put it in the refrigerator, and in like late February or early March, you graft it. You cut off a part of your tree, you stick the stick on. And I will show you guys how to do that when the time comes. But basically, as long as the inner bark lines up, it's only a few cells thick, which is amazing. But as long as it lines up, then it will take. Apple goes on apple, pear goes on pear, or quince. Plum goes on plum. Apricot can also go on plum. Peaches can go on plum. Those do that. Cherries can go on plum. Cherry can go on cherry. So there's some interesting things. You can put certain things on certain rootstocks and go from there. So I encourage you, if you have fruit trees, experiment with it. And if you don't have fruit trees, but you have room for fruit trees and you've always wanted fruit trees, get fruit trees. And if you have a fruit tree that you think is a wonderful tree and it is healthy, but the fruit sucks, you can get different fruit. You can, instead of taking out that tree and starting it from over again from a small tree, you can get a little twig from somebody else's tree. And you can actually put that on your tree and you'll have that fruit. So I think it's amazing, amazing thing. So yeah, that was my little topic, little spiel. If you haven't seen that video, it's the one that came out today. It's a week in review. And towards the end is when I pop up the dates of those events. And again, you can go to just type in California Rare Fruit Growers. I don't remember. I think it's a .org. I don't remember. It's not a .com. It's a something else. Yeah, and there you go. So we can talk about that or other things. I'm going to get back to the chat and see what you guys have to say. I got to scroll up first to our quirky quails. Oh my gosh, guys, I wish you could smell this chili. I smell it. Yum. Andy Rabbit says, after I cooked quail for Christmas dinner, my hubby now calls my quail turkeys. Yep. Fulster Farm says, I put Brees eggs from Linda Easton Waller in the setter today. Awesome. I've heard good things about that. I mean, it seems like they're pretty new to the homestead community, like that's visually accessible on YouTube. Should I say that? They're probably not new to the homestead community, but that's something that I think I'd like to know more about. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, let me know how it goes. S.S. Swanson says, how often do you have to remove deep litter in your aviary? Then do you start all over to start creating deep litter? So I have not removed anything from the quail. Should I? Probably. The roof is getting short. But you don't ever have to remove it. If you want to keep on piling things up and you have a bunch of compost below it and never harvest the compost, then you don't have to. Just know that you're going to keep growing your ground. How often depends on how often it breaks down. So the poop breaks down at a different rate than the wood chips. So, and different types of wood break down differently. So if you have pine, it breaks down pretty quickly. If you have redwood, it breaks down very slowly. So that's going to have part of that component in there. But like with the chickens, I think I had it like a year and a half or something like that before we sifted out any of it. And then like we did half of it and then waited a couple months and did the other half. And I still haven't put in all the wood chips. We gave them some wood chips, but not all of them. And those are sitting in bags. I did have some that I put in the front beds that I made. But they should sit. So because that's active, and that's one of the mistakes I made when I did the side of the house with the potatoes last year that didn't grow, is I did not let the compost sit. And I think because it is always actively being managed, It probably should sit for another 6 months. I don't have like the scientific background on this particular system, but that's what I would do is I would just bag it up in feed bags, set it aside. I have it in the garage, and let it sit for 6 months, and then use it on your garden. So that would be what I'm doing. So it's going to depend on how much how many birds do you have in there? How often do they poop? Are you pruning it regularly? Now with the chickens, they turn it themselves. But with the quail, they don't turn it. So they'll scratch, they'll dig little holes, and they'll be like, especially when it gets hot, they dig little holes and they sit in the holes so it has some insulating effect. But they definitely don't scratch like chickens do. So I have to turn it over. And actually I have a video showing that, of the differences of management for that. But the more you turn it over, the faster it will become compost. But you do have that limiting factor of what type of wood is it that's going in. So like this last load that was in there was redwood, and so that's taking longer to break down. The load I have now in the back is ash and pine, so that will take less time to go through. But yeah, so I hope that I hope that makes sense. Basically, for deep litter systems, start out with maybe 18 inches, and that will compact down some. And then you just fork it in, and how often you do that is going to it's going to be based on whatever you want. So whatever your time allows, the more you do it, the faster the compost will be made. And then if it's wet out, if it's foggy out, if it's raining out and it's getting into the sides, you're going to want to do it more, because that is wet poop and they are walking on it. You don't want that. If it's dry summer heat, you don't have to do it as much. But again, it depends on how many animals you have in that space. So if you have them packed in there, more than I have them, like, then you might have to turn it in more. So does that make sense? Like when I started out, I had 6 quail in that same space, and I didn't turn it at all because it just dried up and it was done. Now I have more than that, and I turn it. So yeah, there you go. Hope that answered the question. Good question, Steve. Andy Rabbit says he asked me the other day if I think that offends them. Oh, the quail, calling them turkeys. No, they're probably like, yeah, I'm big. Yeah. Let's see. Dawn says, Andy Rabbit, I used to have about 14 more chickens long ago. I didn't ever see their poop. Hubby took care of emptying the bucket. Auto roost, all poop went into a bucket. Okay. So they had the roosts above buckets and you just emptied it out. That's a good idea. My girls have their coop is a pallet basically on the bottom, and we put vinyl over it, and I think that's what it's called, the roll-up kind. And so that if it got dirty, we could clean it out and spray it out and do all that. I haven't had need to do that, but I just thought it was a good idea. And then I have been using like the pine shavings from Tractor Supply in there. This next time when I clean it out, because basically I've been cleaning out by taking out, lumps. But when I do a full clean out this next time, I'm going to actually just put the wood in there, the wood chips in there, and I think that will be fine for what it does. So yeah, and you do end up collecting right below the roost more than any other place. And really, for me, what I do is I just take it from there and put it on the floor of the aviary. Or the racking house. We call it a racking house because there's chickens and rabbits. And I just put it on the floor there, and they turn it in, and it's fine. So I just add that to that system. So basically, if your deep litter system stinks, it's time to add wood chips or wood shavings, or turn it. So if it stinks, it's time to turn it. If it stinks, it's time to add more wood chips. So if there's a smell, that's when that should trigger something that says, okay, I need to do something about this. Yeah, Joel Salatin calls it the carbonaceous diaper because the wood is the carbon. So it's the carbonaceous diaper. I like that. Yeah. Let's see. Vase Place says that would be great, Katrina. For the grafting, I think that's probably what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll be showing that, how to do that. There's several ways to do it, but I'll be showing that. Yeah. Vase Place says, what about the tree that has 20 different fruits? Different types of fruit? Yeah. So I have 2 fruit salad trees that I bought that were called fruit salad trees. And they're doing different things. So the cherry one is doing very well. All of the grafts that were not my grafts, but all of the grafts were they were done, by the nursery, and all of them are doing well. They all fruit, they're all evenly growing and all that. The other one, if you get a fruit salad tree and it has peaches and plums and apricots on it, unless you massively manage that tree, it's going to be an apricot tree. So basically what that tree is, it used to have 2 peaches, 2 plums, and a nectarine, not nectarine, apricot. 2 peaches, 2 plums, and an apricot. And now it has basically an apricot and 1 branch of peaches and 1 branch of plums. So I would advise you to keep like things with like things, just because of that. For management's sake, if you wanted to, you can graft a whole bunch of stuff together and have, 1 tree that provides you, things throughout the season. I have 3 peach trees in the back, and they are all season, like they overlap a little bit, but they basically extend my season. So instead of having 1 peach tree, I have 1 peach tree 3 times. That are not usually, sometimes it happens, but usually they're not all ripe at once. Usually there's a progression and you spread that out. So that's something you can plan, is to look at how what part of the season it's fruiting in. So a lot of times you'll have early season, late season, mid season, and you can extend your season that way. Your peach season, your apple season. There's early apples, there's late apples. Same thing with plums, and I mean cherries to some extent. They kind of are more squished together in the whole growing cycle. But yeah, and it's fun. It's fun, and it's fun to have some different types. I did end up getting all of the scions that I was looking for specifically. I was able to get. There was 1 apple variety that I thought of. I thought, oh yeah, I was going to do apples. And I looked back at the tasting that we did in Santa Cruz a while ago, last year. And I was able to find one of the ones that I liked. There was another one that I really liked that I couldn't find. But I'm going to go to a couple other scion exchanges and look for things. And just so you guys have some idea of like the magnitude of these things. And I didn't take any pictures for some unknown reason. Probably because I was talking and picking up sticks. There was, I think it was like 320 or 330 types of sticks. Varieties of scions that people can just pick up. There's an entry fee for non-members, and then you go in there and you pick up sticks, and you have the opportunity to have them grafted for you for an extra fee. I think it was like $6 to buy a rootstock, and then I don't know what the grafting fee was, but have someone who knows what they're doing with grafting graft it for you, and you have this little tree that you can take home and then plant. So I think it's a really good thing to do. And if you guys don't already have that in your area and you can't find something like that, you can start one. You can start connecting with people like-minded and doing these things. I think it'd be a good idea. So yeah. Let's see. I got bait. Katrina, do you have a grafting tool you use? Let me see if I can grab it because I think I know where it is. There are cheaper and more expensive of these, but this is a grafting knife. Do I have that? Okay, let's face it the right way so you can read it. That's a grafting knife, and if you open it up, I don't think this is going to come up on here, but it only has one side that's beveled. I don't know if you guys can see that at all. This side is flat, and this side is beveled. So, like when you sharpen, you would only sharpen on this side. And the reason for that is when you make a cut, you'll get this I'll do a video. Trust me, you guys are getting the preview. When you do a cut, you want it to be as straight as possible. And when you have a bevel and you make a straight cut, you're going to have a wave. And honestly, that works. It works. It's fine. But you're going to get better contact if you have an absolute straight cut. I hope that makes sense. It makes more sense if you see it. This also has a little thing here that's brass. So that is a brass part. And that's for like getting in things and moving things. I think it's brass. Is it copper? I don't know. It's supposed to be like an antimicrobial metal that you're not going to get infections if you put it inside of a split to pry it or move things around. Anyway, that's that. And then this is called buddy tape, and it's a stretchy tape. I'll waste a piece for you guys. I like you guys so much. I'm going to waste a piece. So this is just like if you guys remember, like in high school, you had like for chemistry, you had paraffin. It's like a waxy thing. Anyway, so this is the tape and it stretches. So this is what, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, I think. And it stretches. So you can wrap the scion in this, and that will allow it to grow through this, the buds, and then it also will keep the moisture in. So, I mean, that was 2 inches, and it can grow. Oops, I just broke it, but it can go quite a ways. So, there's your gadget instruction, Ed. I'll do a real video once I'm actually ready to graft. So if you guys do want to collect scions and you have rootstocks, or like, let's say you have a peach tree and you really like your neighbor's peaches, see if you can get a cutting that has, like 4 buds on it, and, get a couple cuttings from different people. And right now, just spray a little bit of water in a Ziploc bag, put it in there, label it. Best label for scions is the blue painter's tape. And if you write in Sharpie, that's the best. Just put that around it, or unless you want to label each individual bag, but then put it in wrap it up, get the air out, put it in the refrigerator, in the middle of the refrigerator where it's not going to freeze. And that can stay there for several months. And when it's time to graft, I'll show you how to graft. So if you guys want to collect scions, go ahead and do that now. And by collect scions, I mean go like this with your cutters. There you go. Yeah, hopefully that helps you, Ed. Oh, John says, Andy Rabbit, my quail get offended when I go out without treats. Yeah, if you give them treats regularly and then they don't get them. Yeah, I used to give my quail, they get, plants and stuff now, but they have pumpkin right now, but I used to give them mealworms, which I need to grow. Somebody needs to get on me about that. But I used to give them dried mealworms, and they were like, oh, yay. And then when I'd go out there and I didn't have them, I'd be like, they'd come running, and then I'd be like, sorry, girls, I don't have any mealworms. And they're like, what? Why did you come out here then? Yeah. So Dawn says, also, if I don't put their nest boxes in at night, they will hold their eggs until I do get into the cage. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, my chicken poos everywhere and she fights my cat every day when we feed the cat. The cat beats up my pit bull. You have some drama going over there, Andy Rabbit. Oh, man. Well, the cat's a survivor, I guess, huh? Probably don't have any rats or mice left. PJs says, I bought fruit trees from Gurney's last year, never again buying from them. Wow, I've heard of them, but I have no experience with them. What happened? I'm hoping that maybe they made things right, but I don't know anything about them. Dawn's laughing at you, Andy. Andy Rabbit says, my son took a rabbit home as a house pet and the rabbit killed his puppy. Face Place, you said you're getting rabbits from Andy Rabbit, is that right? You might rethink this. Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Must have been a very young puppy. Andy Rabbit says, I was kind of sad for the pup. She was sweet. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I am going down here. Compost. Oh, Vase Place put, I'm going to guess that's to my playlist for compost. Yeah, so I have a whole playlist of compost, and part of that is the deep litter system. So you can check out that link that Vase Place put. Thank you very much. Don says, not exactly. He used a big old satellite dish, half of one. Oh, not buckets. Okay. A satellite dish underneath your chickens. Poop slid down to the center hole and into a bucket. Okay. That's creative. The dish went full length of the roost. That is very creative. I would not think to do that. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, that's cool, Dawn. I agree. Dawn says, Andy, is that common? Was it one mean rabbit? Yeah, that's my question. Vase Place says, I know you can graft fig trees and you can cut a branch and start a new tree. Exactly. So fig trees. So I got one of the ones I was looking was Cadota, and the Cadota fig has a known history over 2,000 years old. It's older than Jesus, guys. Yeah, it has a known history over 2,000 years old, and I dug one up in the wrong time of year to move it, and it did not go well. And I was so mad at myself because I didn't need to move it right then. And I was very angry with myself, but I got a new one. So yeah, you can start them by cutting, and you can graft them, but they do take really, really well as a cutting. So that's good. Yeah. Mulberries as well. Mulberries do good as cuttings too. I know we were talking about that with Jesse. When was that? A couple months ago? Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, the thing is, he is more of a big, lovable rabbit, a big old baby. I can carry him around, pat his butt, and he will even sit on my shoulder as I walk around. Oh, the pup was trying to bite him. That's not good. Not good. Fulster Farm says, gotta go to bed, guys. Work at 6 a.m. Ew. Really enjoyed the live. Well, I'm glad you're able to show up here and be involved and have a good time. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we'll say good night. Andy Rabbit says he kicked her in the face. Oh, a few times, but about 10 minutes. Yeah, so probably just trying to survive. Yeah, probably just trying to survive, and yeah, that's unfortunate. People saying goodnight to Fulster Farms. Dawn says, Andy Rabbit, well, I guess the dog shouldn't have tried to bite him. Well, dogs do these things. Copper. Yeah, I think that's what it is. When I said brass, I knew I was wrong. Copper makes sense. She's talking about that. And you don't really have, like I said, that you don't have to have this kind. You can use a pocket knife will work too. Oh, my dad's here, and he says 7 people killed in a shooting at Half Moon Bay. I did not know anything about that. I hope it's nobody we know. Hi. I'll have to tell Manuel to check in with his family because he has family in Half Moon Bay. And now everybody wants to know. I don't know what to do with that information. There's a lot of shootings. There was another one near in the LA area. I got an alert on my phone for it said Monterey Park, and Monterey is also a city near here. So I was like, oh wow, something happened here, and it was near LA, but I don't know what's going on in the world, guys. Like, be safe, please. Be safe and trust your gut. That's all I can say. I mean, there's so many stories that start with "I had a feeling" and then ends in something that is not good. So, yeah, trust your gut and be safe, please. I guess that's what I'm gonna say about that. Yeah. PJ's Family Farm says most of the trees arrived 4 months late and dead. They have a guarantee but didn't honor it. What was that? Gurneys? Is that what that was? You have to look back now. Gurneys. That sucks. I would definitely. I mean, I would report a fraud if you did a on your credit card for sure. Yeah. Base place is back from coffee. All right. Andy Rabbit says, "Hey, if the fruit trees are not growing here, is funny but works trick. Take and roll up a newspaper and go out and slap the tree from side to side pretty hard till spring. It really works." So that sounds really funny and ridiculous, and I have no idea if that works, but there is a technique where orchardists have in the past used to promote blooming, and I don't know how well this works at all, but that is to hammer nails into the tree. And the thought is that the tree has to produce offspring and to survive. And that's that. I have no idea if what you're saying works at all, but I do know that there is a history of tree abuse to get them to flower. I don't think people still do that. I don't think so. I do know that people try and promote growth by cutting the branches shorter, and that's part of it is pruning. But I've heard of people trying to do that, and I don't know anything about why that would work or why it wouldn't work. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I just know that people claim that it works. Interesting. Newspaper, huh? Vase Place says, I looked at that company, PJ. It did not feel good, so I didn't buy anything. Yeah, I recognize the name, but I'm not familiar with them directly or even indirectly to my knowledge. Yeah. There's a different company out in the Midwest. What was it called? It's a really well-known one that I don't know, everybody loves. I've heard about it even here, but I don't remember the name now. Annie Rabbit says the rabbit is not the same breed Verna is getting. Good. Not only that, Andy, but Lucy is smarter than a puppy, also bigger. If the bunny tried to kick her, she would leave it alone. Yeah, I think so. Steve says every day till spring or constantly till spring. We don't need to be hitting trees. Andy Rabbit says, I imagine my son didn't really watch them properly too, most likely on his phone. Oh boy. Yeah, so my dad says he can't post a link to the story. That's okay. We can look it up. Yeah, there's like a shooting every day, and it's not, it shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't be normal. I mean, every time I see something like that, I have to hope that they were targeting a particular person, even though that even sounds bad, because just people who go off and do things to random people, I mean, that both of it's bad, all of it's bad, but yeah. Vase Place says, trust your instinct, it is there to keep you alive. Exactly. Yeah, and you were in police work, right, at one point? Yeah, trust your instincts for sure. Dawn says, the last live plant I ordered was the summer before COVID. It was a very large leaf lamb's ear in 1 gallon bucket for $48. Wow. It's all over the place now. Then the toilet paper shortage. Oh, toilet paper. That was on sale yesterday and I got toilet paper. Yeah, lamb's ear is a really good, I don't know what kind you have, but it's a really good, like ground cover, it can be. And then it can send up little spires, but it's a really good ground cover. And I think it's used medicinally for something, but I can't think of what. I know mullein is used as a lung for the lungs. Um, it's made as a tea, and then you strain out the fuzzies, and then that's supposed to be you drink that for. But yeah. Don says stick a copper nail in a tree root and you kill the tree. Yeah, I didn't say copper. Yeah. Let's see. Vase Place says put an iron 10 penny nail will give them iron, which helps them. Yeah, I've heard that about rebar too. Stark Brothers, yes. Stark Brothers is the one I was thinking of. That's the nursery that PJ's Farm. Thank you. That's the nursery that that I've heard of in the Midwest. That like ships all over the place. I've heard really good things about them. Hopefully they're good. Have you ordered from them? That's the next question. Vase Place says Richters in Canada is good too. I've not heard of that. Interesting. Oh, Steve says the shooting was at Magic Mushroom Farm. 7 deceased, shooter in custody, a disgruntled employee. Wow. I don't know where that is. Yeah. Pay attention to your gut. Andy Rabbit says, with my house potted plant, I had one that wasn't growing good, so I started flicking the stem every day for a while. Then it started to grow like a weed. So there is something called spanking your tomatoes, and that is basically when you have a seedling and it's starting, and you're supposed to like go like this to it to make it strong. Putting in a fan will do the same thing. It kind of trains it against wind. Yeah, I know my mom had an African violet, and she's known for not keeping plants alive. But she had an African violet, I think a student gave her, and they were gone on vacation, and there was a mouse in the house, and this mouse chewed down the African violet all the way. And they thought, oh boy, that's dead. And it went in the garage on the workbench, just that's how far it got. And they forgot about it. And it's a good it was good that they did that and they didn't throw it away because it started regrowing, and now I think it's probably still growing. So sometimes they need that. Same thing happened with at our office years ago. Somehow ants got in to the office into an orchid, and they put the orchid outside and to get the ants off, and then they it was forgotten about. Someone took it because it was just outside. Someone took it. We put up a sign that says, please return the orchid. It had ants. And they brought it back. And once it got back inside, it bloomed for the first time in forever. So sometimes you do. Sometimes they need a shock. Yeah. When we talk about chill hours, maybe it's just that they need some sort of push to do something. Yeah. Blaze Place says no, had a chance but turned it down. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, if you bought from them. Okay. So Swanson says, Andy, we had a potted plant in the bathroom, hardly grew, fell off a shelf into the toilet. Then it grew really fast after that. Well, maybe you need to water your plants. Or give it more nutritive water. Dawn says, Katrina lamb's ear is good to use in place of no toilet paper. The leaves I have are about as wide as my hand and knee high. Yes, I drink mullein. I thought I knew that people had used that for that, but I thought it had also had a medicinal thing like mullein, but I could totally be wrong. Yeah. PJ says not yet, but you will soon. Yeah, for the Stark brothers. Yeah. Dawn says Stark brothers, I ordered trees and fruit trees from years ago. They were good. Good. Yeah, I've never heard anything bad about them, so that's good. Michigan bulb, I was not impressed with. I have honeyberries from them that were supposed to grow super good. Yeah, I've gotten 3 honeyberries in like I don't know 8 years. so at least with that, I was not impressed, and I wasn't impressed with. I think there was something else that I got from them. My neighbor and I got stuff from them at the same time, and both of us were not impressed with the live plants that they had. Yeah. Steve, that's kind of funny, but cool. Must have shook the roots awake, Andy Rabbit said. Or watered them. Ed, who's a bad tomato? Yeah. Dawn says, I had a red maple I ordered with lots of other things. It would not grow, ticked me off, so I went out to pull it out of the ground and get rid of it. After that, it grew. Yeah. Sometimes, thanks, PJ. Mental picture of Katrina's baking tomatoes. Oh boy, I don't practice this. Yeah, sometimes plants need to be threatened. I think. I mean, my Valencia orange, I said, this is your last season. If your rootstock doesn't taste good, then this is your last season. And I had one and it was good. So we'll see if it continues. It's kind of funny. I just got to get that out in the air. You guys are bad. Oh, Vase Place is gonna check her books for the lamb's ear, for her medicinal stuff. She has some good medicinal books. Oh my gosh, Ed, you guys, I'm not reading that stuff. Oh boy. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, guys, it's after 7:30. I didn't even know. Yeah, Ed, I know you were holding back. Oh, because I don't spank them. Oh my gosh, Steve. No. So, anyway, if you guys are interested in fruit trees, now's the time to get the bare root ones and 10:30 there. Yeah, I know it's late, Ed. Bare root trees, and then also your if you're wanting different kinds, you can get different kinds. So another thing to do is to look at the shape of any bare root trees that you're getting, like if you're getting them from a nursery that you can go to physically, and look at the shape of them, and then you can say, okay, well, I want this one because I know that it's in different directions, and put on a stick from over here and a stick from over here. So yeah. Plants like molasses. I don't know what you mean by plants like plants. Oh, the plants do like molasses, like they like to eat it. I've heard of this. I know that with when you do compost tea, you add molasses to that to feed the microbes. So it might be the microbes that like in the soil that like the molasses. It's time for some chili, Steve says. Meaning I should hang up. Oh, it's an ornamental plant related to mints. Okay. I was wrong. Lamb's ear is ornamental. Related to mint. Interesting. We need a smell-o-vision, PJ says. It smells good. It's not done yet, but, before the new wave is like Instapot, so it vents and then it closes itself, when it reaches the pressure or when it reaches, when it gets all the air out. And so when it's doing that, it is already heated up and it's already yummy smelling. So yeah, it's cooking now. I have to add cumin later though, because apparently I don't have any. So what I'm going to do when I can it is I'm going to just add some cumin in at the bottom of the jar or the top of the jar or whatever. And when it boils, when it is in the pressure cooker, it'll be fine. So there you go. All right, guys, I am saying good night. I hope you guys are all good. I hope you're all safe and you pay attention to your instincts. This world is more dangerous. I hope that you guys are looking at your seeds that you're going to be planting. Tomorrow's video is how to find your zones and your planting times. So that's what that's going to be tomorrow. And then I'm talking about molting on Thursday. So those are the videos for this week. And I hope you have a great evening or night, as the case may be. And we will see you next time back here next Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And have a good time. Have a good week, guys. Good night. Oh, have a good meal. Yes, we will. Blessed night, Katrina and everyone from Vase Place. Good night, all from Andy. Good night, guys.